Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Anime Review episode number 15. This one I'm reviewing the 92nd episode of Dragon Ball Super. Emergency! We don't have all 10 members! Yep, that is seriously the name of this episode. Now there are several different settings, this one setting. I mean, we have a little bit of Universe 7, but the two big ones, actually, there are three universes basically I should discuss here. First of which is a scene I don't remember seeing in the sub. A scene where it's set in Universe 3, where you see the God of Destruction, who is basically a robot, though they reveal before the universe is destroyed, it's actually one of the regular Gods of Destruction. He gets introduced, him and his angel companion, him and his angel, and the Supreme Kai of Universe 3 get introduced to the new team, which is a team comprised of robots. I don't know if Funimation did this scene themselves because I don't remember this scene actually in the sub. I don't remember at all. It's because it's been a while. My guess is this particular sequence was added by Funimation to this particular episode because that's the thing with Funimation. They have occasionally tendency to add stuff to this thing. Usually about 1 or 2 minutes of footage. This was a good 4 minutes of this particular scene of the introductions of robots, shut them off, stuff like that. We see a little bit of Universe 11 with Top. This is probably also the original thing because I remember this being in the actual episode itself. Yeah, because all we saw in this episode in the sub was what was going on in Universe 6 and Universe 7. Not Universe 3 and Universe 11. Yeah, that is new original footage. Now, either one, that footage was not ready at that point, or two, they probably added it because they probably just felt like it. Of course, it's been a while since I watched this episode subbed. In the case of Universe 11, I mean, Top is apparently a very highly respected hero, where even children know who he is. It's like picking from that particular point, when you see Universe, it's like right where the General rescues his cat, which is trapped atop of electrical wires, frees the cat, says hi, and basically decides to, well, gives the cat and just keep it out of the cat, and of course he sees Top, and of course the kid's like, "Oh, it's Top! First time to say you a person!" And Top basically takes his gigantic hand, puts and pats the top of these two little kids, and of course the general goes with him to the bar they frequently go to. Yeah, I think it's like a bar or nightclub. It's probably like, I'm not sure what do you call this place. It's probably like a small restaurant. Probably a small restaurant. Well, actually look out the window and order drinks. It could be just a club. Yeah, it's a club, but not like a club with a bunch of music. It's probably a quiet club. And he just had talk with General. Generals agree, join the team, and that's it. In the case of Universe 6, they actually, now this part actually I do remember from the sub really well, that they explain how the Super Saiyan process works. Because prior to this episode, the Super Saiyan process has never been explained. All we know about it is that we see the hair tingle and, of course, the thing going yellow. It turns out the process to actually cause this to happen is a process in the person's back. First, he starts out by insulting her. That she's weird, and she's kind of, well, I don't remember the insult was, but yeah, he insulted her a couple times so that would get her off. And eventually she does do it, and yeah, she's able to do it pretty quickly, and of course she's able to do it longer, and wow, just so easily. And of course, then she calls over her. Now, in the sub, she refers to her as her apprentice. In the dub, she refers to her as a sister in arms. Okay, fine. And I've got to point this out, though. It's just me. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever pointed this out, but Khalifa is taller than Caleb. Caleb looks like he's about, I'd say, about 5 feet tall. In the case of Khalifa, she looks like she's about 6'1". I'd say she's really tall for a woman. Though, of course, if you look at this woman, yeah, very intimidating woman who wears baggy pants, boots, and a shirt that just covers up her breast. And she also wears a couple of bracelets, like gauntlet bracelets, and that is pretty much her attire. Well, of course, with her associate, Kale, she gets her stuff in the next episode. Yeah. In the case of Universe 7, Goku goes trying to wake up Beerus. Doesn't work. And, of course, that's when also, while he's away, of course, Kuro and his family show up. Marin goes off with Trunks and Goten to see Bulma's new baby. This adorable little baby. We also get a chance to see Pilaf and his gang briefly for a quick cameo. Though they do show up one more time they show up in the next episode. So if I remember, then I think after that they disappear and they're not seen again into the final episode of the series. Let me think. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, they found out about Goku lying to them, and of course he apologizes for lying to them about the fact there's no prize money, and of course, Bulma decides to pay it, even though Goku promised anyways. And of course Piccolo points out though that Chi-Chi wears the pants in the family, so she controls all the money, which I think is so hilarious. The fact that Piccolo pokes fun at Goku's household, the fact that Chi-Chi runs the household, which is basically terms of saying Chi-Chi wears the pants in the family. Even though they both wear pants anyways. It's just so funny. Yeah. And of course, why don't you ask, why don't you get the money? It's like, nah. And of course, Krillin is told to stay, and now Beerus just somehow just gets up, just magically just transports right next to Krillin, like, hey, so you're not going to participate? How about if I kill you? How about if I try to kill you? When you try to we rejoin the tournament? It's like, okay, I'll rejoin. Just so funny. I'm like, okay. I get the fact he's a god. Now, normally, I get the fact that the Z Fighters are known for stuff like this, but Beerus, this is probably far the first and the only time I can think of he's ever been shown to be this quick. But I kind of expect that because he's a freaking cat. Yes, Beerus is a cat. And just by sheer coincidence, fun fact, he's based upon Toriyama's cat. That's the thing with Beerus. Yep, so he stays, and of course 18 said she'll rejoin if there's some money involved, and of course, and Bulma's like, fine, I'll pay to 10 million if anybody wants it. Oh yeah, and also, Roshi overcomes his bleeding thing every time he sees a beautiful woman. Now, I have heard that the reason why this had to be done in the series was because apparently a lot of perverts known for doing this. Characters are perverts, and there apparently was a complaint about this. Yeah, apparently people were complaining about this was very common for a lot of perfect characters, that they're no sorts of bleed every time they do something pervy or they see or they get fan service. Here's the thing with Roshi. He has done this since he first shown up back in the 80s. Yes, this guy has done this at this point for 30 years. Why the heck would they wait till now to get this fixed? No idea. But the only reason I did it, because like I said, I've heard, it was because of complaints people had. This was actually last year this happened. I think though. Yeah, of course the episode ends just before the credits roll, which scene, because Beerus is camping on the team. Not Beerus, Boo, because Boo's asleep. It's like, okay, if you guys were at the Frieza Force, we wouldn't be in this situation. And Goku's like, I got an idea. Let's invite Frieza to this tournament. And we're like, what? Yes, that is the Yeah, their shock reaction is the same one from the sub. That's one thing that did not change. And of course, then you should see Frieza in Hell, which the way this series makes Hell, it looks like it's a very not that intimidating place. It's like the way the anime depicts Hell in this series, it's very inconsistent. Like, the first time it was seen in the original Dragon Ball Z series is that it looked like a very hellish landscape, and then later on they made it nice and fuzzy. Yeah, it's particularly very bizarre, but it's probably Frieza's Hell. Yeah. Otherwise, that's particularly it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my next Comic Corner when I talk about two really thick trades. Yep, but see you in the next review. Bye.